Hey, what's up? It's September and my phone is due for an upgrade. Let's take a quick look at the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Okay, so let's get this thing unboxed here first. So I've got the base 128GB model here in space black, and normally I'm a silver kind of guy, but this year I was really intrigued by the stealth black look, so I went for that one. And by the way, I'm upgrading from an iPhone 12 Pro Max in silver. So this should be quick as there's actually not that much in the box since recent years. So let's see. Oh, slides off really nicely. Let's put it on the side. And here we see the phone. Looks really good. What else do we have in the box? So yeah, we have the charging cable, we have the usual paperwork and a SIM ejector tool and stickers. They're just white. So yeah, that's pretty much it in here. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the phone itself. I have to say I'm really liking the space black color, especially the frame, which is really dark. It's much darker than on the space gray versions from before. It's still quite shiny and a fingerprint magnet. I wish they would have made this out of titanium, like the new Apple Watch Ultra, instead of using the stainless steel. That would also make the phone quite a bit lighter, because, you know, why would you want to make such a big phone heavier than it is already? So even just using aluminum would have been better. But yeah, I mean, it looks premium, really liking it. The frosted back glass is nice though. It doesn't pick up any fingerprints, or not nearly as much as the stainless steel frame. It feels like a matte texture, really nice. And I never use a case on my phones. I typically put a skin, just like I have here on my 12 Pro Max. I wonder if they made the MagSafe magnets a bit stronger on this versus the 12 Pro Max. Feels the same, maybe a bit stronger? Or maybe it's because I have a skin on the other one. Yeah, works nice. The camera bump is indeed really big. But at least it should make some nice photos and videos. You know, Apple made some bold statements about these cameras, so I think we should put those to the test. Maybe even compare it to a mirrorless camera, like the Canon R7 that I'm filming with right now. Let me know in the comments if that's something you would like to see. So what else do we have? We have the mute switch, the volume rockers, and the SIM card tray. So I live in Europe, we still get the SIM card tray in here. If you are in the US, you don't have that and you'll have to use an eSIM. Now, I've been using an eSIM for a couple of years, it works fine, so you should be good. Moving on to the bottom, you have the speaker grills and then also, of course, a lightning port. Apple, it's 2022. There's no excuse for lightning on here, it should be USB-C. Moving on, we have the power button, and then if you hold it at the right angle in the light, you can actually see the cutouts, or the eye, or the eyes, or the island, or whatever you want to call it. As soon as you power up the phone, you can actually see the island really good. So let's get this set up, and I'll be right back. Now this has finished setting up, everything has been transferred, my apps, even my eSIM. So the first thing I noticed while using the 14 Pro Max is actually not the dynamic island, but is the ProMotion variable refresh rate. The screen on this can go up to 120 Hz when you're scrolling or moving around, but it can also go down to 1 Hz when you're not really using it. And because of that low 1 Hz refresh rate, it's possible to have an always on display. Now what that means is, when you press the power button, the screen doesn't go off, but it goes into a low power mode. You can still read your text and see your icons and even your background. Now, I'm not sure if I'll be using this because it does use a bit of battery, and I in general prefer a longer battery life. So let's play around with the dynamic island a bit and see what it can do. So obviously this will work with the timer. So if I start a timer and then swipe up, you see the icon and the countdown in the dynamic island. Let's open Spotify now. Play a track. Swipe up. Now I see both Spotify and the timer. If you tap once on the timer, for example, you open that app, so you can cancel out here and swipe up again. Now I just see Spotify. If you tap and hold, you get a contextual menu. So for Spotify or any other music app, that's a mini player. For other apps, it'll probably show quick controls for other things. Dynamic Island also works with Face ID. So if you lock your phone and then swipe up to unlock, it does show the unlocking icon. This would also work with charging. So if you connect, for example, a MagSafe charger, add that on here, and then yes, it does show charging and the battery percentage in the dynamic island. So that works great as well. It will also show the connection to AirPods when they are connected to the iPhone. Notifications though don't show up in the dynamic island, and instead they slide in from the top and display under the dynamic island. The animations are nice and smooth, but there's a bit of a drawback with the dynamic island, especially on bigger phones. So this is the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and when you use it with one hand, there's really no way to interact with the dynamic island. It's up at the top of the screen, so you just can't reach it. It would be really nice if it could move around on the screen and use as a dynamic dock somehow. And just in case you're wondering, even when you swipe down on the dock to lower everything on the screen, the dynamic island will stay at the top of the screen, so you still can't reach it. Alright, so that was a quick look at the iPhone 14 Pro Max in Space Black. I'll definitely be testing out all of these features in a lot more detail, especially the cameras, and seeing if this dynamic island is actually useful or not. If you have any specific features that you want me to try out, then definitely let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's it for this one. If you like what you see, then don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.